Hello, Klaus here, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to have a look at the new firmware update for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K version 6.6. And it was just released a couple of days ago, and I thought I would share my thoughts about this new update. So the update brings support for the new battery grip, which is a new thing from Blackmagic. I haven't tried it, so I don't know how that works, but maybe I'll look into that at some point. Also, we have support for different languages, which is good if you don't understand English, but my language is not in there, so it doesn't really matter too much to me. Then we have a new built-in horizontal level tool, which is pretty good and pretty nice to have, I think. We'll have a look at that as well. Then we have added support for a 4K, and we are going to get some more frame rates as well. So now we can do 75 frames a second in 4K, which I think is pretty darn awesome. Also, we have some new resolutions in this firmware update. We have 2.6K, where you can shoot up to 120 frames a second, and a mode for 2.8K, mostly meant for anamorphic lenses, where you can shoot up to 80 frames a second. Also, there is some support for de-squeezing if you're shooting anamorphic. I don't have any anamorphic lenses, so I can't test that out. Also, there is support for pins to zoom, which give you an 8x magnification, so that is pretty handy if you want to manual focus stuff. There's also going to be some kind of support if you're using a gimbal like the Ronin, or also think that the Mose Air is there. But we're waiting for some kind of an update for the manufacturers of the gimbals. So that is coming, but they are able to make that so we can control the settings from the camera on the gimbal. Pretty nice, I think. There is a lot of other improvements in the firmware update as well. One of them is the autofocus should have some kind of an improvement. We'll have a look at that as well. Yeah, that's like the basic of the changes. So now I'll show you some examples of some of the different things, and we will have a look at that as well. So let's get right to it. Let's go now.
Okay, so first off, let's just have a look at the new formats. It's the 4K 2.4 ratio, and of course a anamorphic mode, and the 2.6K is there as well, just so you know I'm on the right firmware. Okay, so we have a look at the pinch to zoom function. So just by double tapping and then doing like the general gestures you would do at any tablet or smartphone, you can actually magnify your image up to 8 times. So that's pretty helpful if you are doing some kind of manual focus. As you see, I'm trying to do here with my lens, and here I'll just double tap out again. Okay, and here we look at the new level tool, and just go in and put that on horizontal here in the menu, and we'll tap out of the menu, and as you see, we have it right here. So the idea here is that when the lines are at the same point, we should be at a level. So it also works sideways, of course, and there we go, almost in the center and almost in the middle. So nice little tool to have as well. And now we are taking a look at the autofocus in the camera. Here it's from the old version. As you can see, it's a bit hunting for the focus. And here we have a look at how it looks at the new firmware again. And you might notice that it's still hunting, but it isn't as noticeable. So here again, outside shooting 24 frames a second for 2.6K again, and here it's almost the same shot in 120 frames a second. Do keep in mind when you're shooting RAW on these frame rates, it will crop in the sensor. And again here, testing out RAW 4K 2.4 to 1 at 24 frames a second. and here we'll have almost the same shot, but at the new 75 frames per second feature, which is in the new firmware. And here are some leaves falling down. So overall, I do think that this new firmware will give you a lot of new features for the fantastic price of free, which is pretty significant compared to what other companies are doing. But Blackmagic are giving these updates away for free, and I think that is quite nice. And in some sense, it is like getting a new camera with this new firmware update. So if you are not still holding on to your Cinema G&G, I would recommend making this update, because it's a pretty nice and amazing update. Anyway, I do hope you found this video useful. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, share it with your friends if you think it will help them out, and if you want to be notified every time there's a new video on the channel, please hit that bell icon down in the corner. Until next time, keep filming, keep learning, and keep sharing.